Okay, so you want a collection. Not one car. A collection. 5 bays. Maybe 10. Each one lit like a museum piece. A Ferrari under one light. A Lamborghini under another. Engines quiet. Paint glowing. You walk in at midnight, just to look. Just to remember you own this. No monthly car payment stress anymore. No compromise. Every car in that garage is a decision you made when you finally could. You think, this is what winning looks like. Here's where most people stop thinking. And here's exactly where it gets interesting. Because a car collection isn't a trophy case. It's a portfolio. A moving, decaying, cash-eating portfolio. And most of it is losing value the second you close the garage door. Let's start. A new supercar loses about 6% of its value in the first year. By year 3, it's down 20%. Doesn't matter if it's a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, a Porsche. The badge doesn't save you. Some models lose far worse. A base Lamborghini Gallardo, down 25 to 35% over 5 years. An Audi R8? Same story. High production numbers kill exclusivity. And exclusivity is the only thing keeping the value up. You just spent $300,000. And the clock started before you left the lot. Now here's the part almost nobody budgets for. Ownership doesn't stop at the purchase. A Ferrari runs $3,000 to $8,000 a year just in scheduled maintenance. Rare models push that to $10,000, sometimes $30,000, for a single service. Lamborghinis aren't gentler. An Urus alone costs $2,500 to $5,000 a year to keep healthy. Miss a service window, and the bill doesn't shrink. It multiplies. Insurance adds another layer. Exotic coverage runs $130 to $600 a month per car, depending on the model, the driver, the state. Multiply that by 5 cars. Multiply it by 10. You're paying a second rent, just for permission to own metal that mostly sits still. And it does sit still. That's the part collectors don't post about. Storage for a serious collection runs $250 to $1,000 a month per vehicle. More in Miami, more in LA, climate control. Trickle chargers. Humidity monitors. Because a car that isn't driven starts dying quietly. Seals crack. Fluids separate. Batteries die in the dark. You built a shrine. The shrine has a subscription fee. But wait, before you sign for car number 6, there's a question almost nobody asks walking the showroom floor. What kind of collector are you actually becoming? Because car collector isn't one thing. It's at least 4 people wearing the same driving gloves. Type 1. The trophy buyer. Buys what's hot. Buys what photographs well on social media. Doesn't research depreciation curves. Doesn't care. The car is the point, not the return. Type 2. The investor. Chases rarity. Limited production runs. Cars under 500 units. Watches Haggerty data like a stock ticker. Sometimes wins big. A 1963 Ferrari once sold for $17.875 million at auction. Sometimes it's just an expensive bet dressed up as a hobby. Type 3. The tinkerer. Buys project cars. Buys what needs work. Loves the garage more than the driveway. Time rich, cash poor, endlessly patient. Their return isn't money. It's the process. Type 4. And this one catches people off guard. The flipper. Buys hype cars early, sells fast, before depreciation bites. Needs perfect timing and zero emotional attachment. One bad market month, and they're stuck holding a car nobody wants at the price they paid. Which one you are decides whether this collection builds wealth or quietly drains it. Now here's the twist almost nobody sees before they've already got 4 cars in the garage. The classic and collector car market isn't one market. It's split, cut clean down the middle. The top end is roaring. Auction and online collector car sales hit $4.8 billion in 2025, up 10%. 5 of the 10 biggest sales that year wore Ferrari badges. Museum grade. Provenance heavy. Money doesn't blink at these cars. But underneath that, something else is happening. Haggerty's overall market rating dropped to its lowest level in nearly 15 years, entering 2026. Private sales, where most collector transactions actually happen, are struggling. Median sale prices haven't kept up with inflation. The middle of the market is going soft while the top keeps climbing. You could own 5 beautiful cars and still be stuck holding 4 of them nobody wants to buy. Sit with that for a second. Because the mid-tier exotic you bought at the peak of hype, it might be exactly what the soft underbelly swallows first. Here's your pattern interrupt. Selling isn't like selling a normal car either. There's no Craigslist for a $400,000 coupe. Your buyer pool is small, specialized, patient. They know your car is a liquid the moment you list it. They negotiate like they know it too. So some owners just wait. They store the car. They keep paying insurance on a depreciating asset that isn't earning them a dollar. Month after month, the bill compounds. The car sits. The value slides. The buyer never calls. There's a real accounting term for exactly this trap. It's called a wasting asset. In finance, a wasting asset is anything with a built-in expiration on its value. A lease. A mine running out of ore. Something that decays no matter how well you maintain it, because the decay isn't damage. It's the design. Nobody says that phrase in a showroom. Nobody puts it on a brochure next to the leather seats and the carbon fiber trim. But that's the technical, textbook truth about most of what's sitting in your garage right now. You didn't just buy cars. You bought a fleet of wasting assets, dressed up as trophies. So here's the real twist, the one that hits after the engines go quiet. Owning a collection was never really about the cars. That's the accident, the byproduct of getting the real formula right. Rarity, timing, condition, and a buyer pool deep enough to actually let you exit when you need to. The handful of collectors who build real wealth aren't chasing horsepower. They're chasing liquidity disguised as horsepower. The paint isn't the asset. The engine note isn't the asset. The ability to sell, on your terms, at your price, without begging the market to notice you, that's the asset. And every year a car sits in your garage without a buyer lined up, it's quietly doing exactly what it was built to do. Wasting. That's the business you're actually buying into.